Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3.
And the game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3.
The game is so goddamn good, it pisses me off. So then, Baldur's Gate 3, a slow, clunky, turn-based game that otherwise would spell out a niche within a niche within a niche sort of appeal, is probably the best thing to happen to games in the last 5 years at least. It is phenomenal how many options there are to play the game, or ways to do so. More importantly, it's done on a budget that is, well, $100 million, and that's not a small sum. However, it is, well, quite a lot less than, let's say, something like Call of Duty, Starfield, and a few other bigger names. And yet, it blows all of them out of the water. So, come with me and let's take a look at the successes of Baldur's Gate 3 and exactly why it pisses me off in such a good way. Now, before each element, first, like all dead horses, I gotta smack it a little bit. After all, we can't not mention how Wizards of the Coast have been a bunch of fucking pricks in recent months either. But we're talking about the Baldur's Gate, so here's a list of things the game fails in for you nitpicking aficionados. Vulcan version of the game is borked, inventory system is overcomplicated and clunky, inventory has a tiny annoying glitches, the party follower AI is genuinely lobotomized aside from brain worms, the game is slow as shit, the camera is too restrictive, in combat it's far too easy to click on nearby railing instead of your enemy, looting is a nightmare, and of course the fucking RNGesus. There, I got it out of my system. But seriously, only people not liking turn-based games are weirdos, like Donkey.
But you know what I hate much more than anime? Turn-based combat. For real, I despise this shit. There's like 2 games that figured out how to make it fun, but those don't count. Turn-based combat is fucking boring, tedious, and draining. It is the opposite of fun. So when I say Persona 5, a turn-based anime RPG is actually pretty fun, you should go, damn. Okay, maybe that game is alright.
Setting that aside, Baldur's Gate is impressive, if for the reason alone that it managed to basically capture how regular D&D plays. In fact, that is our first success. Over the years, games like World of Warcraft or Dragon Age have attempted to incorporate elements like, let's say, stats of D&D, but never went in full way.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Yeah, that's kinda how D&D ends up working whenever a developer in the past managed to attempt to recreate tabletop gaming in video game format. It always ended up being super slow, lacking in explosions and the bombast that video games are known for, and utterly bogged down in needless features and mechanics, making them the most boring things on the earth. Now, don't get me wrong, Baldur's Gate does have the pacing of a glacier. However, odd thing is, Baldur's Gate also does captivate you. But why? Well, for me, that was knowing how to play D&D in the first place. In fact, I'm still trying to finish DMing the Lost Mines of Fendelver for my lazy-ass friends who can't get their shit together to organize once a goddamn week. But anyways, the point is, I came from the background of knowing a little bit about computer RPG games and their history, as well as some experience in tabletop gaming. So, the concepts like inspiration, stats, dice rolling, spells, abilities, and so on were pretty easy to grasp. All the other races have something. Dragonborn has nothing! Oh no! Yes! Ooh. Sorlocks for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Jolene! There we go! Jolene Cujo, let's go! Fuck yeah! Yes! Yes! Oh, I love this so much! So, the success here stems from the sole fact that Larian managed to adapt D&D to a very close to real game fashion. Sure, there are a couple of things they had to omit or shortcut not to turn into a bullshit cavalcade of numbers and stats. Still, they managed to incorporate so much of how the pen and paper tabletop D&D plays, it's actually impressive. Spells work 99% the same, actions and their economy, tactics, loot, items, environment, all of it is quite close, and I'll delve into that a little bit later. Sure, yeah, you can't do, say, piss in a mug, throw it at a goblin, and then use the lightning spell for extra conductivity, but even so, the experimentation, that freedom of options are still here. And yet, maybe you don't like the tabletop RPGs, in fact you might hate them. Well, in that case, this would not be a success, and that's completely fair. However, on a technical terms, D&D is a free-form, do whatever you want as long as DM allows and tells you what to roll for it. Adapting that to a more rigid coded video game format, well, it's never really been done to that extent at least. And to still have that experimentation feel persisting throughout all of it is an impressive feat of technical achievement, game design, and definitely planning. But maybe that won't impress you or even bother you. Well, in that case, there will be certainly a thing that most other folks will be interested in, and that's... darling. As I started the game, I was met with something I honestly didn't expect. Just that little effort of literally the character introduction. They didn't need to put in actual animation, voice acting. They didn't at all need to make this, and it would be still just as good. That's extra effort. That right there is an extra effort.
No need to be intimidated. My virtuosic talents once caught the eye of the goddess of magic herself, Mistra, who named me her chosen.
Good writing! Just evocative, good writing, and that is not only emphasized by the voice actor, but animations! Oh, this pisses me off. This one fucking menu already is far beyond what Starfield did. And this is a smaller budget game, I think. Seriously, Larian didn't need to put in time animating and voice acting each character's backstory, but they did. This is one of those minor successes that I praised Witcher 3 for as well. The extra effort, the extra step that you probably might even see only once throughout the whole game, and it's done. But subconsciously, it adds charm, character, a hint that there's always something extra hiding around the corner, giving depth to even the simplest interactions. But we're talking about the story here. Now, D&D is the quintessential fantasy world when you think of elves, dwarves, dragons, and magic, and this certainly is it. Now, as much as Wizards of the Coast can eat a bag of dicks these days, Larian getting the go-ahead to adapt a setting and colorful world full of these iconic and cool characters is a great thing. However, like with Star Wars, you can have the best universe in the world and the best tools at your disposal to work with, and you can still be like Rian Johnson and manage to somehow even manage to fuck that up. So, it matters how Larian decided to depict, voice, animate, and illustrate these characters and the world around them. Now, what Larian managed to do was... an outstanding job. No, seriously, it is as perfect as it could be. Just for the sake of argument, here's an example of Volo and the Goblins.
Short work of the innkeeper, maid.
Now, aside from Goblin Slayer anime, you usually think of these small creatures to be pitiful and wretched, and sure they are, however, they can also be used for brilliant comedic effect.
Don't go bothering my pigeon, he's mine. Pidge. Keep him safe. Listen to him coo. Till I gets hungry or some such. What's it to ya?
These single sentence interactions with every single little goblin in the fortress has something unique about them. See, Larian could have just as well copy-pasted 10 goblins with no voice lines and only voiced the important ones. But no, every single one has a little bit of extra touch. This is that extra effort I'm talking about. But beyond that, the charismatic and apt voice acting paired with, well, mediocre but serviceable animations completely sell you on every single interaction.
Mistril, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel, and with her, the entire weave.
And conversely, this is how Starfield does it.
All right. Can't blame me for trying, right? I mean, I still haven't given up on getting Sarah to re-enlist.
It's a game we play. He asks, I say no.
Here's what I got for you two.
Fuck you, Bethesda, you hacks! Point is, Larian designed not only the look for goblins, but all the creatures in the world, and paired them with appropriate animations with good voice acting, and more than that, the reason the world and these characters sell you on being unique, even if most of them basically have one voice line, is because these are unique voice lines or interactions. This is that extra step that sells you on these characters fully. For example, let's take one of the, well, I struggle to use the word better, but still better immersive sims of the past decade, Deus Ex Human Revolution. Oh, and those that are not familiar with the whole immersive sim thing, immersive sims are known for being these unique games that offer multiple ways of approaching the world and problem solve, events and interactions, hence the title Immersive Sims.
You heard me, get lost! You thought I'd make you get lost! You heard me, get lost! You thought I'd make you get lost! You heard me, get lost! You thought
Do these characters look interesting? No, not really. They don't have unique animations and they just have blank stares for eyes. That's about it. Compare that even to something like Skyrim. All characters, well, aside from the guards, have unique voice lines and interactions, so they kind of feel more real. There aren't thousands of randomly spawned Roombas. Oh, for fuck's sake! So then, this is why interacting with each character in Baldur's Gate creates that feeling of being alive, and pair that with something actually interesting happening makes it even more fun. Soak the battlefield in blood! Do not resist death, but embrace it! Yeah, fun words to give the kids. Yeah!
they're even more scared.
Oh, this is perfect! Bravo! Lyrian, bravo! I love it! Oh, this writing is so cool. It's not great, but it is both bombastic and fun. Yes!
And I cannot even eat it, because the horned ones hide their shiny bits inside. Hiding things. Thinking they're clever. Not clever. Sometimes I eat the shiny bits, and they have to go looking for them on the other end.
Oh, so good. The fact that there's just... Let's go. And pouch? What is in the pouch? Open? Yeah, the UI really needs better work there. There's a rat. Holy crap, I can talk to the rat as well.
Stay back, or else.
Nothing's wrong. Just get back.
Ow! Oh, my tooth.
It's the front one. I chipped it on the evil thing. In the box. Follow me, I'll show you.
Ooh. Really? Just like that. Oh, god damn it, this extra effort is oozing out Illyrian's ears. This is so cool, funny and interesting and charming. I love it. And these are just 1 to 2 line characters that you may be passing by. And the same thing, in fact far more, is exemplified in more prominent characters like Volo.
Eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle. The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push. Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick. Tap, tap, stab. Your eye plops down into the mud.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were trained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
Oh, fuck you! You little shit! Unbelievable! Are you fucking kidding me, Volo? God damn it! And then, of course, even more with your party members.
The entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly.
Simple animations paired with excellent line delivery. Even if the writing exactly isn't the strongest one, it's still great. Well, especially if you compare with something like Witcher or Cyberpunk, but even so.
What's your poison? My treat.
A bourbon for me. Alas, mon frère does not drink.
It would explain why he's helping Ciri.
Possible. This what you're looking for?
Uh-huh.
So what's it supposed to do?
I hope I'll be able to activate it. Let's leave this place, shall we?
So then, visually speaking, I would say Baldur's Gate is not exactly the most visually fidelitous game, but even so, everything is serviceable or even good. And look at that, they didn't even feel the need to constantly boost the polygon count of the fucking sandwiches, tanking the complete performance of the whole game and calling it optimized. The point being, again, the world feels so much more alive, even if you have fewer characters in towns. As long as all of them are unique, or hell, even 70% unique like in Skyrim, the world feels far more interesting than the one filled with tons of Roombas. As for the world itself, well, of course, magic, fantasy, the staples of D&D are quite well exemplified with Baldur's Gate in the visuals. I'll get into the level design later, but generally speaking, artists have done a serviceable job to create the D&D world that we might think of. However, I do have to praise level designers for putting in some interesting interactions around the world, making it so much more worth it and rewarding to explore. Alright then, well, it's time to praise the gameplay and why it's so fucking good it pisses me off! But like the Dead Horse beat 'em up I did at the start, let's address a few things. First of all, yes, the game is slow. Sadly, this is simply the result of being a turn-based game. However, it's not a negative for me. I mean, I loved Heroes Might and Magic for my whole lifetime, in fact. But as for being clunky in nature, oh god, yes, the inventory alone is a baffling pile of unrefined code, but it is functional and only slightly annoying. And funny enough, thanks to the being turn-based game, you don't notice the bigger flaws with it, but even so, they do shine through regardless. And then there are some other little things like the AI follower lobotomized nature, and looting of small objects and items is just a big pain in the ass and best be described as clunky again. Yet despite all the annoyances, there are just so many options. For example, creating character, there are tons of ways to go about it. The more levels you have, the further you can take these builds. Like real D&D, this is absolutely incredible. Add a class. Ah, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I kinda want to do a sword lock. Oh. So much options! And it's so close to the actual D&D too. So cool. I'm still genuinely amazed how close they made this game to D&D. But let's say that you never played or in fact even hate these things. Alright, that's fair enough. There is plenty of variety and it is rather daunting, I can see that absolutely. However, leveling up and basic layout for your character is presented in rather simplistic and even automatic way, so you can't really go wrong. Or at least if you do, you can respec always for very cheap price. Bottom line is, it's not really that far off from any MMORPG out there, frankly speaking. Once more, I have to praise Lyrian for putting in such an immense work and try to streamline character powers, their descriptions and combat itself. Even if you know shit about how tabletop RPGs operate or how their dice rolling works, the combat especially is presented in a very simplistic way. And so is damage. Percentile showing what the chances are of hitting, and say if you played ever XCOM games, well, you're pretty much set. And that's such a quality of life thing. I wish I had it for pen and paper! But options. Well, aside from the fact that there are massive variety of playstyles and stats and all that good stuff, well, they are nothing if the gameplay basically is the same with every character, no matter what you pick. Well, luckily Baldur's Gate has created the world, characters, and appropriate level design that not only accounts for different playstyles and allows their chance to shine, shall we say, but even more beyond it. Say, for example, a door. Now, in normal games, you usually would need to find some sort of a keycard or a key for it to open it. Now, immersive sims are special in this regard, as they try to account for and offer different ways of getting over or past the obstacle, like for example, a door. It is the reason why they're so special. They allow you to problem solve organically, hence the name immersive sims. So, Baldur's Gate. Well, you can open a door by lockpicking it. Naturally, of course, also finding a key is useful, but that's what normal games would account for. Now, what you can do, additionally to all that, is literally put down explosives and blow it up.
There's an adamantine forge back there, sure as shitting. Don't get any smart ideas. That forge is clan property. But get the beasts moving and I'll toss some coin your way.
Some places a spell like that would get you arrested. Here, it seems, it gets you killed. Your men.
Or chip it slowly away with your weapons. Or hell, the level design might even incorporate some way to circumvent it, like opening a window and just getting inside. Overall, for the same reasons immersive sims were praised, Baldur's Gate gets the pat on the back here as well. Can I... Oh no, I can move it. Oh, so cool. Such a small detail. You usually expect the third-person games to not move props at all. This also extends beyond the combat or obstacles. Interactions with the environment as well as characters specifically are accounted for, which makes the whole game so much more interesting. Case in point, speak with animals and dead. Arcana, there's something strange about you, Ox. What is it? Okay. Oh, this is so nifty. So nifty. Love it. You just want to interact with the world.
This creature isn't what it appears to be.
Well, let's persuade. Yeah, very cool, very cool.
I'll tell you this much. I'm going to Baldur's Gate, with or without the rest of these poor sods.
This is so fun! Sure, most creatures only have like 1 to 2 voice lines, but the fact that they exist for each unique creature is so goddamn cool! Again, it pisses me off! This is what that extra effort looks like. You know, it kind of reminds me of Duke Nukem 3D back in the day, and why I utterly loved that game, even compared to the more modern Half-Life 2 at the time. The extra little things around the environment that don't add anything to the gameplay give extra life and charm, as well as character to the level design itself, and thus also the world. And Baldur's Gate has so many options in environment, in character interactions, in items scattered around, in your character abilities alone, all of which can lead to some unbalanced moments. But in turn, the player is given that cool thing called emergent gameplay and organic experimentation, rewarding clever, silly, or simply unexpected approaches. The reason the gameplay succeeds so much is because this experimentation is being rewarded and things work out like you might think they do, like burning down the door.
Something different. Moving.
Fireball! Huzzah! What? Fuck it, ice knife it is. Alright. Oh shit. Now it's ice. Oh, there were the barrels, they ruptured, so now the ground is ice and it's again slippery. Fuck! I can't seem to have a break on this one. Darkness. There we go. And they will come... Okay, so I create darkness, they can't see through, so they have to go through it to hit me. And guess what? There's ice. Strategy. Oh, so nice! Ah, come on! It's so cool! Tell me, what the fuck is wrong with other game developers? How hard is it to include stuff like this? And no, I'm not just saying, freeze water there. So then, to finish up the good bits, what makes Baldur's Gate shine above everything else is, well, I guess it's a part of the options success, cause, well, regardless, I like to call this thing world reactive. Basically, the same thing that Starfield, but opposite. Meaning that the world reacts to your actions. And no, I'm not just talking about the barrels exploding if you shoot them, but characters reacting to what you do and how you do it. And again, no, I'm not just talking about the simple
music shifts, still melancholic.
It's not often that you see games include more alive elements of the game worlds and NPCs and environment reacting to basically your presence. Take for example the Grow in early area.
Behavior has caused upset.
What?
Now a fight is unavoidable.
What? What? What did I do? What? But I didn't. What? No. A random event. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, okay, everyone's leaving. Oh no. I mean, I didn't steal anything, did I?
You call a recent scandal. I think you're Baldur's Gate who wish to know your comment. It seems you've pushed your luck too far. Time to defend yours.
I was taken by surprise, and this is not the only area that has a hidden timer before you're not welcome in the area and abruptly everything erupts in chaos. But this world reactive is also present in simple little, maybe even meaningless interactions, like for example, speak with the dead.
Seems willing to speak, but not to its killer.
So what you could do is use another spell called Disguise, and lo and behold,
the corpse regards you lifelessly.
Open passage. Ancient forge.
Robes will get dirty.
Wait.
I'm all right. Invaliant! God. I can finally breathe.
As bad as it could have. Still alive. So that's progress.
Thing is, of course, video games not gonna beat a tabletop D&D where you can truly have some bizarre adventures. Hell, even some immersive sims have better options and variety and abilities to get the job done. However, with Baldur's Gate, it weirdly took me way too long to start seeing the game's limits and quote-unquote behind the curtain as to how the game operates. And that's only a good thing. Oh, but speaking of, the good old box stacking, the staple of immersive sims, is alive and well. In fact, it actually is quite phenomenally useful. So in this clip I jump over to a place that I can't find a place to jump back from. So basically, I'm stuck. Now then I remember this good old clip from the game's launch. Oh, this is just too good. No. Oh my god, this is just the funniest thing. Okay, climb on. Okay, but can't jump. Climb on. Climb. And I can jump back. And alley hoop. Oh, this is so cool. There we go. Now to get my party out of there. Oh, this is just the stupidest, funnest thing ever. Alright, climb. Good. No, no! Oh, god damn it, you... No! No, you idiot! You idiots. Box is OP. I love it. Oh, this is so cool.
Alright, what now?
There we go. Ta-da! Oh, this is just so amazing. Does it break the game? In a way, yes. Does it make it great? Oh, fuck yes! And so, these are the reasons. The depth and charisma of characters, the extra effort in voice acting for every character, giving them unique personalities, the extra effort in allowing the player to experiment, even if it breaks the game, and offering such a massive variety of options are the reasons Baldur's Gate is absolutely, utterly phenomenal game. All of this without selling garbage microtransactions or sacrificing creative vision. All of this spells an utterly great game. Which makes it even more warranted when at the launch, so many of the industry AAA professional developers came out of the woodwork saying that, oh, expecting a game like this is unrealistic for our games. Oh, how about fuck you? Fuck you, you talentless, compromising, out-of-touch hacks! Baldur's Gate 3 is how a true AAA $70 or hell, $100 game should look like. In fact, I would probably pay more for it because it's just so good and worth it. And I recognize the effort and also the customer friendliness of the company. So then, these are the successes of Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I played only for about 30 hours or so with a level 5 or so character, but I can already see the success in the environmental design, the options, and the world reactive, as I call it. It's just so wonderful to see a game with some sort of a big thought being put behind it, and actually offering that open world. Well, that last time we got was from maybe Skyrim, but even that one was questionable thing. But even so, do let me know what are the things that succeeded for you at least. And other than that, well, of course, do check out the Patreon and maybe toss a buck my way and support the work I do here. Other than that, well, I'm off to play Baldur's Gate. It's just so great.